to the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. I'm Corinne. I'm a Scot living and knitting here in New Hampshire, and I own and operate the Woolly Thistle. And if you love woolly wool or independent knitting books, then you have found your woolly home here with us. We love what we do, and everyone is welcome to come try out our yarns and lovely books. So let us do the international shipping so you don't have to. And welcome to this episode. Last episode we had a wonderful giveaway, and we are going to announce the prizes now, and I'm just going to show you quickly again. Rachel of Beecroft Yarns, who is living and crafting up there in Fair Isle, she sent us 3 gorgeous skeins of her Shetland wool from her sheep there on Fair Isle, and we have 3 lucky winners who will win a skein each of this. And this will be going on sale around Shetland Wool Week, and it will be available only from her website, which is becroft.co.uk. And Rachel is wonderful. She has her own YouTube channel, which you should check out, and certainly the winners should be following her both on Instagram and on YouTube, as well as following the Woolly Thistle on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm going to announce the winners for this in just a moment. And then we have 3 runner-up winners who all get a beautiful Henty Legget from Fair Isle. And a Henty Legget is a tuft of wool caught in a barb, on a fence post, on a thistle, things like that. So we have 3 of these. They're unwashed, of course. They're just natural wool found on Fair Isle, which is just lovely. And also they get a postcard of Fair Isle, which is a tiny, tiny island there. This is looking at it from, which direction is this looking at? That's the north. So we're looking at it from the south. That's the south lighthouse, and there's another one up on the north. Right. And we have some cards from the artwork of the primary school kids there on Fair Isle. There's not many kids in school, just a handful. And a lovely postcard from Beecroft, which has her website right on it there. And a little note from Rachel. So we did draw for these earlier, and the first one gets a lovely artwork from the kids, the postcard, the Beecroft postcard, and of course the Henty Legget. And the winner for this is Amy Schaefer, and we'll put your name there. Just send us an email, Amy, and we'll get this out to you. The next runner-up winner, who's winning a Henty Legget, some lovely artwork from the kids in the primary school, the postcard, and the postcard is Gail Klein. Congratulations, Gail. And the last runner-up winning this lovely Henty Legget puffins postcards is Peggy MCC. So congratulations to you 3. You will be getting those in the mail just as soon as we hear from you. Send us an email to info@thewoollythistle and write winner in the subject line in capitals, and that way we can pick you out quickly and get your prize off to you. Now for the yarn prizes. This is beautiful. This was spun up at the Uist Wool Mill in the Hebrides in Scotland. And let's give away this lovely cream color first. This is going to Stacy Funkhouse. Congratulations, Stacy. Send us an email. And then the lovely oatmeal-y color, which is butterscotch. I'm gonna lose that if I keep it there. Butterscotch. And you are the lucky winner, Jennifer Greenfield, or Greenfield rather, sorry. Jennifer Greenfield, send us an email to claim your gorgeous Beecroft butterscotch yarn. That's a 100-gram skein. And the last prize winner of this lovely gray, and it's called Barnacle, there, little Barnacle. and it's made with wool from all her lovely sheep that are listed on the back. This includes Miss Marple, and the winner is A. Eastman. Congratulations. So the 3 yarn winners, please send us an email with winner in the ray line, letting us know that you are the winner of the yarn. So congratulations, we're very excited for you. That was a lovely giveaway, really, really nice. And of course, we'll do another giveaway this week. It'll be a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle. And all you need to do is make sure you subscribe to us, which I want to quickly mention. We are just over 100 subscriptions away from being 10,000 followers on YouTube, which is amazing. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. All right, we have a very full episode for you this time. Maggie will be coming back so that we can talk about knitting and yarn and what's new in the shop, as well as some of our own knitting. And then we have a new segment for you. We will be inviting Caitlin to drop us a line here, and so stay tuned for that. Caitlin is a wonderful employee here at the Woolly Thistle, although she works remotely. She's in Indiana, and she handles all of the emails that come in from you lovely customers. And so you will, if you've emailed us, likely you will have chatted with Caitlin. And so she is going to be joining us here on the podcast too. I also just want to say thank you so much for the lovely welcome that Kelsey P got from everyone. Thank you so much. Isn't she great? She talked about her love affair with Peace Fleece, and we're really excited to have her on the podcast. So you will be seeing her in the next episode after this one. So they're going to be regular contributors, both Kelsey and Caitlin, and we're very excited to have them here with us. We also have some really great interviews coming up with designers, so stay tuned for that. More on that to follow. So without further ado, let's get Maggie in here and we'll continue with the show. Hello, Maggie. It's great to have you back with us.
Hi, good to be back.
We got a lot of nice comments about you being on the show, which is really great.
It was really good.
Yeah, so it's good to have you
Thank
here.
you.
And it's still summer, so I'm not wearing any woolies, neither are you, but you are wearing our Knitting Joy t-shirt, if people can see that. And hopefully if you ordered your Knitting Joy t-shirt or your Woolly Thistle logo one, that you have that by now. There was a slight delay with them shipping it to us, but it's arrived, it's going out. You should have it by now, actually. Yeah. So if you don't have it now, you'll have it in the next couple of days, I'm quite sure. So we have the cowl starting tonight. Yeah. Have you all picked what you're going to be knitting out there?
I've seen lots of comments on Facebook and Ravelry that people are excited.
Yeah.
It's good. And I'm excited to see everybody's knitting.
I know. Is there any clear runner or winner of what people are knitting, or is it a mixed bag?
It's definitely a mixed bag. There's lots of vanilla sweaters.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. I wasn't fishing.
No, I know. No, I think too, like, as we've had a lot of new people find our group, which is great. And they've found us through the vanilla sweater.
Yeah, that's true. So. We have a lot of new customers coming from Australia. So welcome. We know it's your summer down there, so thank you so much for knitting with wool at this point in time of the year for you. We love having you as new customers, so welcome to the Woolly Thistle. And
isn't it their winter right now? They're the opposite.
Oh yeah, it's our summer. We're knitting in summer, so thank you to everybody in the Northern Hemisphere who's knitting through the summer with us. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. Yes, it's their winter. So yes, keep knitting, Australia.
I had to think about it. I'm like, wait, it's the opposite.
Yeah, I'm completely confused. So do you want to remind us what you're knitting for the cowl?
So I started swatching a little early, and I started swatching with a sleeve. I'm knitting the Defiant cardigan by, I don't know her name.
Kristin Wiola.
Kristin Wiola.
Yes.
From the Scandinavian Sweaters book.
In fact, let me find it, because I have this open here for one that I'm interested in.
So, and I'll show what I started. So it has color work in the yoke, and it's color work all over, knit with 4078 and 4010, this lovely acid green, I think is what they call it. And so I started with a sleeve.
It's gorgeous. So that's your swatch, and you're allowed to swatch before the cowl starts.
Yeah, I read through the pattern, which I thought was helpful. This will be my first overall color work sweater in first steek. So
there's the yoke. And did you point out the purl bumps?
I didn't. So she has you at the end of the round do up the center line of the sleeve, like underneath, just one row of purl bumps. And actually it was seeing the Star Cardi and how that's finished under the sleeve that really made sense for me.
Right, because you're doing your shaping into that?
Yeah, so then you have to increase along the side in pattern.
Hopefully people can see that. But
I hope so.
Yeah, we can show you that better.
So for me the trick was, so I'm a continental knitter, and I'm holding the cream, so the cream colored yarn is what the purl bumps will be in, and throwing. I messed up once or twice and I was like, I don't think that's the correct way to purl.
That's interesting.
And, so because I'm so used to doing it.
So you're holding the contrast color in your
left hand. Yeah, because I thought that the pattern would pop better that way.
That's interesting. Because I always think that the background color is in your right hand.
It is.
So
the background color is the cream.
Right.
So the gold's in my left.
Oh, didn't you just say it was in your right hand?
So the cream color's in my right hand.
Yes.
So then,
okay.
I'm throwing that one.
Okay.
And, but I'm not used to purling throwing.
Okay, so.
I'm used to purling.
Okay. Okay, yes,
Which I think is smart because I've got so many purl bumps, not just for color, but purl bumps in the green.
Yes, so the green is in your right hand, and that is the cream is in your right hand, and you're only purling that though.
I'm only purling it at the
once.
Right.
So you're actually doing most of your purling with your left hand.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was funny that I'm like, how do I purl throwing?
Yeah.
Like it really messed me up a little bit. So.
Yeah. So I was always an English knitter, so that wouldn't mess me up, but I've transformed into a continental knitter because I do like it much better.
Yeah, and usually when I do color work, I have one in each hand, so I'm used to knitting.
Yeah, but not purling.
But not purling.
So show the purl bumps again, though. Isn't that lovely? I've never seen that sort of detail before, and it just gives it so much texture, and it helps that contrast color pop.
Yeah, it's going to be really pretty.
It's going to be gorgeous.
I'm very excited.
And are you getting engaged? Do you know yet?
I don't know yet. I want to knit like another 1/2 inch and just finish one whole sort of diamond, and then I'll wash it and measure.
Yes, and I have found that when you use this, because you're knitting this bottom up, right? So she can knit both the sleeves and then attach it to the body.
Yeah.
And I always do that if I have the chance, because it gets a lot of the stuff out of the way, the learning curve and things and the shaping. And if you don't have gauge and it's not too off, I wouldn't rip it back. I would just change your needles and keep going.
I figured too with a cardigan that fits a little forgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, that's great.
Lovely. I'm excited to get started. Even just doing this was kind of addictive.
Yes, and you're knitting this with your sister Marie.
Yes, my sister Marie's knitting the exact same sweater, exact same colors. Yeah, which is fun. And actually I was chatting with her yesterday and I'm like, so these are the things in the pattern that I think I'm gonna have to watch out for.
Yeah. Has she started swatching?
Not yet, not since the last time I talked to her, probably in the next day or two.
Okay, all right. For the sweater Cal, at time of recording this, I'm not completely decided on what I'll be knitting, but I've whittled it into 2 things. One is also from Kristin Wiola's book, and this one is the Wiola cardigan. Hopefully you can see that. And I love the color work on it, and I love that it's got this embroidery, though I'm not confident I could do that embroidery down there, but it's lovely. And I love the button band has an edging, but isn't it nice? So this is what I would like to knit, but I would also like to knit another Victory cardigan, which I feel like I want to do that. I could do it pretty quickly, and I could do it while knitting along with you. So I think that's the plan. We're recording this before the Cal starts, so yes, things could definitely change before then, but I think it's going to be one of those 2 things. But I do love that cardigan. Do you have any FOs?
I do. So I finished the sweater I was working on last time. I did not weave an ends, so it's not finished.
That's okay.
But it is all finished.
Lovely.
And blocked.
This is your Devonia.
So it's my Devonia.
Have you named it?
Top Down Sweater.
Do you have a name for her? I think you should have a name for her. Maybe people can suggest names in the comments to this episode. So tell us about this again, because
I had swatched with Devonia and I really liked the fabric that I got, so I used the Ann Bud's Top Down book for handy. I always mess up the title.
I know, the
handy book of top down sweaters.
Yes,
that sounds right. And I used her. She has a pattern in there for a circular yoke, so I just used my gauge swatch. I don't remember how many stitches I got. I can write it down. I'll make sure my Ravelry project is up to date.
You're so much better at that than me.
But I did take notes all along the way, and then you just followed her. And for the increases, I did an eyelet increase, so just yarn overs. And it's really pretty, and they're not so much that I did try it on, and they're not so much that it's see through or anything. No, it's great. And
so this is John Arbon's Devonia 4-ply, which is a fairly thin yarn,
but it knits up really nice.
It does knit up really, really nice. Has this been blocked? This has been blocked. Okay.
Yeah, and then
so it's fluffed up a little.
I had it folded. So it wrinkled a little.
It's lovely. Well done, Maggie.
Yeah. So I'm ready for fall.
Yeah, you are.
For fall.
Yeah, that's great. That's a beautiful FO.
I'm excited to wear it. I really like how the colors.
Yeah.
You really see how he blends colors.
Yeah. 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 We do have Yarnadelic coming from John Arbon, which is a new color or a new yarn to them. Is it 100%?
I think Falkland Corriedale.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think so. Yes, so we're excited to get that. That should be here soon. And we have several, I think we have, well, I'm not going to say how many colors, but we have several of the colors coming.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. I do not have an FO.
I will say, I brought, since I was in Devonia mode, and we still have some Devonia Top in the shop for spinners, which I brought some to show.
Oh yeah, let's look at that.
Yeah. So it's the top that he spins down himself. This one is Ocean Rain. And you can just see all the...
This usually sells out really, really fast, but we got a very big order last time, so we still have some if you're interested.
Yeah, and Bleeding Heart, which is red. Sage Spring. I started spinning some of this color, and it's really pretty. And then we have this Broken Flower.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty, and I actually spun some of it.
That's what that is?
That's what that is. So it's nice, so you can see how it's just fluffy.
It is so nice.
So
very lovely.
Yeah. I like that color. We've got quite a few of those in the shop too.
Yeah, I love this. Is my my ridiculous ranunculus is in this color. It's only ridiculous because of me, not the pattern. Many people have knitted that pattern without any incident.
Yeah.
That's lovely. You're such a good spinner, Maggie.
Thank you.
You really are. You did this on your wheel? Do you want to tell the viewers what kind of wheel you have?
I have a Shacked Ladybug. I love my Ladybug.
Is that a portable one, the Ladybug?
I mean, it's not as heavy. Like the Matchless, I've heard, is a lot heavier, but the Ladybug, I could throw her in my car and take her places.
Oh, you do a beautiful job.
Thank you.
I love all your spinning.
And then we have the Pollen Gold, which I also have a sample of.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So soft. I would love to knit with that.
We can arrange that.
No. It wasn't a, yeah. Let me have your yarn. Yeah. It's really nice. Beautiful.
They are really nice. So I've been spinning them sort of all to the same weight, and then I'll do some kind of color work project. I haven't made decisions. Other than that, I'll just keep them all the same so I can use them together.
That's a really good idea. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah. So
all Devonia, all the time there. Those, like, the three of them are good together.
They do. Yeah, you can see all his colors. They all go really well together. So that's why I know if I just keep spinning them, they'll
be good.
They'll all play nicely together.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of knitting news. I haven't been able to knit much the last couple of weeks, honestly, and I've been working on the Victory Cardigan, and you can see that I am still changing things up. I decided that I didn't like the way the bottom was working out, so I ripped it back, rolled up all the balls, and my dog actually ate my knitting, which is terrifying because I'm already on borrowed yarn. And yeah, there's like pieces this long. But I was able to salvage most of it, and I think it'll be okay. And I am so sorry and tired of talking about all the trials and tribulations of this actual cardigan. But my focus will be on this and getting it finished and done. But what I brought in to show you, which, because I mentioned it last time, is my mitered square blanket, which has been going on forever and ever, and I love this project. Sorry, Maggie, I'm gonna...
That's okay.
It started out life as very much a sock blanket, although I'm very proud to say that both of these are Shetland wool. So right from the get-go, I've been knitting woolly into this. But a lot of it was sock yarn that I swapped with other knitters way back when. And then in more modern times, you can see it gets woollier down here. So lots of Finnegarn and Jameson and Smith are in here. And then the latest one is off of my Autumn's End sweater, which I didn't bring, but you'll recognize the color. I started a new row with this. Lovely color from Rowan Felted Tweed. Don't know. Yeah, so that's a new row that I'll be starting. And I love this blanket. So you can find the recipe on Ravelry if you look up Martine Ellis. She has a free recipe, and that's the one I use, and it's very simple. And I can actually, you know, this can cover me now quite a bit. And I knit on it while it's keeping me warm.
It's always nice to have a scrappy project going.
I think so too.
It's funny, I used my, I started a granny stripe blanket.
Oh, you should bring that in.
Yeah, I can bring that.
Yeah.
It's fun to work on.
Yeah, it is. And it's just sort of like a palette cleanser when you're kind of sick of something that you're knitting, or you're having problems, which is always me.
Or in between. Like I've added a couple of rows while waiting for the sweater cal. Right. Like, well, I don't want to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to start, but
yeah, you're trying to...
It's a nice way to just...
Yeah, idle through. And then you can use up leftover bits as well, which is, you know, it really doesn't matter how it all goes together. It's all good.
It just looks pretty.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really... Got some lovely yarns in here and lovely bits of thyme that I know will always remind me of things. So, yeah, it's good. So I would recommend having one of these long-standing whips that you don't ever feel guilty about not having finished it, because that just means it's getting bigger and bigger. But these are really fun to knit on in between. Yeah, so that's what I have for my knitting right now. Let's see. So let's do the shop update and tell everyone what we've got going on in the shop. Maggie, do you want to start?
I do want to start. You can see all of a sudden I have a basket full of yarn. So we've brought back, it's a different line from a company we had before. We have Auchen
from Sweden.
From Sweden. This is their 100% Swedish wool.
It's the grays are a Gotland, so it's a Gotland wool, which is a really nice.
Yeah, this one, they smell nice and sheepy, in case you're wondering.
Yes, you're a yarn sniffer. Same here. Right, so this one is called dark gray. There you go.
Yeah, and we have cerise. These feel really nice.
We should talk about the weights of the skeins.
Yes, so they're spun down at a small mill in Sweden, and so the weights are a little...
Yeah, we found that the weights were, several of them did not make the 100-gram mark, which is the standard typical weight. So we have, like this one here is 95 grams, and we have marked it as 95 grams, and we're not just saying you're getting 100 grams and then, you know, shorting you 5 or 8 grams or something like that. Yeah. But I think it adds to the small nature, you know, the small business, and just this might be the way they do it in Sweden, and that's fine. Yeah. It's more of an adventure.
On the bright side, sometimes you get 103 yards.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
That's really nice.
So this one here is medium gray, which you can see is that.
Yeah, this one's bluish turquoise.
I like that.
I like that one too. It's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 102 grams.
Yeah, this one's 95, but I love this red.
That red. These reds are really, really popular at the moment. We have a hard time keeping these reds in stock. We have them in a few different lines.
Dyed on a gray base.
Yeah, and it's like a Norwegian red, isn't it? Really, really nice. Yeah.
You want to do this one?
Okay, anthracite. This is a dark gray. This is 111 grams here. We probably won't give you the exact, you know, this will probably be in a listing of 110 grams, even though it's more. We won't, otherwise we'd have to list every single skein individually. So we'll group them. Yep, so that's anthracite.
Light gray.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's my gem right there.
I know. If we were gonna pick a color for you, that would be it.
That would be it. So that's 4 grays there and a cream.
Natural cream, yeah. It says off-white. Yes.
Off-white.
It's really pretty.
Lovely.
Yeah. And then we have 2 pinks.
You like those two?
No, soft pink W and pink L. So this one's dyed on the gray.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, I like that one. And then this one's dyed on white, so you can see that it's...
Yeah, that's kind of like a ballet pink, but a little bit more grown up than just a little girl ballet pink. I think it's got a little bit of...
It's nice.
Yeah, a little bit of maturity to it. Those are really nice.
Yes. And then lavender.
Which looks very gray. It's lavender on gray, and it's lovely.
Yeah, hopefully you can see it. There you go.
Yeah, I wonder. Hold it up with the, this is the medium gray next to it, so it is quite purpley. Yeah. Nice.
And then we have Nordic blue. It's really
That's
pretty.
nice.
I like blues.
I'm not a huge fan of blues. Do you know that?
I've heard that maybe before.
But I do like these blues. They're nice.
And then grass green.
Which you cannot go wrong with. I love that.
This one's on the gray too.
Yeah.
It's just really gorgeous.
Really gorgeous. And
they do. They feel nice and toothy, but not scratchy.
Not scratchy, nope.
But definitely rustic. It's definitely not merino, but it's
right.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. And this is all sport weight, right? So it's saying 20 stitches per 4 inches. I'm going to say yards. Okay, so this is the Nordic blue, which looks more solid, so on a cream base, and this is bluish turquoise, which is more on a gray base, I think. Just to compare.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So these are all our Old Centrum offerings. These should be in the shop as we are. Yeah, these should be in the shop today.
Be in the shop now.
Yep. So show them some love. Oops. We're trying them out, and hopefully if you love them, we will keep them in the shop. Very excited to tell you that Black Isle yarns will be back. Their Auchen, which we had once before. We were still at the river mill the last time we had that. That will be coming in, and we will let you know by email when those are ready. Her book Perspectives is also coming, and last time we did a nice little set of yarn and book, and I think that's what we'll do again. So if that at all interests you, open your emails from us. Make sure that you do that, because as soon as they come, we will let you know and get that set up. So we will let you know in the emails first. If you're not on our email list, well, why not? But you should be, and you can sign up at thewoollythistle.com for that, and you'll be on the list. Let's talk about some, well, we have pre-orders right now. Making Stories goes live on September 1st. This is Making Stories issue 6. You had a good look through this last time on the show, so I'll not do that, but we still have copies, so get that. Other pre-orders, Lina 12 is doing really, really well, and that goes live on September 12th. So we are taking pre-orders for that right now. And Murat magazine, I think, will be in the shop today as a pre-order. And that is such a great magazine. I can't wait to see that in person. It's a crochet magazine, but using a lot of yarns that we would love to work with. So I think it's a really nice, good fit for us here at the Woolly Thistle. And we actually had in stock, but sold out, the paperback version of Lina's 52 Weeks of Socks. We did sell out. We know that the distributor has more copies on back order, so we can't get them yet. We're waiting for them to, yeah, lovely. It's a lovely book.
It really is.
So as soon as we're able to get more from the distributor, they will go back in the shop. It's a big, thick book. It really is 52 weeks of socks in there. It's the same layout and everything as the hard copy book, which we might have some still in stock. I'm not sure about that. But we will put these in the shop as soon as we get more for sure. And we don't have Lina 12 here to show you right now. It's not with us yet, but we'll talk about that and show you it as soon as it comes in. But thank you so much if you've already pre-ordered. It's doing really great. Lots and lots of copies will be going out soon. Okay, so let's see. Peace Fleece had its launch, and it's a favorite already, a fast favorite. We have sold a lot of it, so thank you so much for giving it such a warm welcome, as well as Kelsey. She is a huge fan of Peace Fleece, and I think she did a really nice job talking about it. Does she have more plans to talk about?
So there's a blog post that will be live in the shop now. So
is that about
Friday? So it's all about Peace
swatching?
Fleece, and we link to some of her projects as well if you want to see those.
There was a sweater that she did in green. She showed it on the podcast. That is a sweater I do want to knit with it because it looks like a quick knit and really scrumptious. Do you remember what that was called?
I know it's a pattern by Sari Norland.
Sari Norland, okay.
But I don't remember the pattern name.
When we find it, we'll put it there for you and go have a look. She knit it beautifully. I don't know if it's meant for worsted weight yarn. I'm not sure.
I think it is.
Okay, hopefully it's just an easy yarn sub, and you could knit that up, or I could knit that up too. We do have Finalgarn and Strickgarn color cards. They should be in the shop, so be on the lookout for those if you're interested. Those color cards always go so fast. And we did get a top up of Marie Wallen yarns, enough that we could populate kits. So we have the Primrose, both Primroses. We have the Holly, the Hawthorne, the Mistletoe Tam, which is lovely, as well as the Walnut Tam, which is great. So those are from either her Gentle book or Wildwood, which we have in stock as well. So if you're interested in that, I would check that out sooner than later because her stuff always sells very quickly. We do have a lot of things coming down the pike as we move into September, but we're not ready to tell you what they are yet. So I guess you'll just have to keep tuning in. And thank you so much for watching. I did mention earlier that we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. So if you could do us a favor and let your friends know to come and watch The Woolly Thistle, maybe subscribe to our channel and get us over that 10,000, that would be really, really great. We'd be so thrilled, wouldn't we?
We would.
Yeah, we've been working hard at this, and this also is episode 150, so that feels like a milestone as well. So thank you for that. We are going to turn the camera now over to Caitlin, who is a wonderful knitter, experienced knitter, and she helps a lot of our customers with their knitting questions. Or questions about their orders or any sort of customer service issue. You will likely have talked to Caitlin, and she is such a great asset here at the Woolly Thistle. We love having her as part of the team. Even though she's remote in Indiana, it's like she's one of the team right here in New Hampshire. So I'm really excited to see what she has to talk about, and we're going to share that with you now.
Hello everyone. Corinne, thanks so much for having me on the Shopcast today. My name is Caitlin, and I am on the staff here at the Woolly Thistle. I've been here a bit over 6 months now, and I am mainly in the emails. If you send an email to info@thewoollythistle.com, I am probably the first one to see that message. I will answer what I can, whether it's about an order you have with us or a question about inventory in the shop or any other questions you have. And if I can't answer it, then I pass it along to someone else on our team. I work remotely. I am actually in Indianapolis, so I'm not local to New Hampshire, but live here with my husband and our 4-year-old son and our poodle, and yeah, coming to you from there. I have been knitting since college and really got more serious about it once I got married, and then especially when I discovered Ravelry and blogs. I knit my first sweater in 2016, and then especially since then just have this extra motivation with those bigger projects to always have something on my needles. So I'm really happy and excited to be sharing some of those projects with you. I wanted to talk to you today about the project that I'm currently working on, and then being the first day of our sweater knit along, I just had a few thoughts about that and maybe a couple suggestions. So let's just get right into what I am knitting on. I'm making the Colorway Cardigan. This is a Kate Davies pattern. A lot of you have probably seen this one before. Lots of people have knit it. It's not brand new. You can find it in her 10 Years in the Making book, which we carry in the shop. I believe it's also on Ravelry, but the book contains a lot of her designs from over the years, including the pullover version of this as well. This is a bulky sort of weight sweater. It's actually 2 skeins of DK held together to make sort of a bulky weight, knit on 10.5 size needles. Bottom up sweater, so you start at the hem, knit to the underarms, then set that aside while you start on each sleeve from the cuff up to there. Then you join it all around to knit up to the top there. It has this beautiful kind of folded over collar and yeah, that kind of exaggerated raglan shaping right here. Then you'll do the button band at the end and this I-cord sort of buttonhole edging. It's knit back and forth, so you're knitting on the front side, purling on the back for most of the stockinette. And then you don't have the cutting, steeking, and all that. It's just back and forth open while you're knitting. So yes, it calls for a DK weight. I think the original pattern is in Kate Davies' own yarn, but I'm knitting mine in Rowan Felted Tweed. Corinne's also knitting something in this right now, so you've heard us talk about it. And I've actually chosen to do 2 different colors. I'm holding one of each strand together to make sort of a heathered effect. I'll show you that. These are the colors. This one is not quite as light as it's showing up here, but it's Alabaster is the light and Carbon is the dark. This is sort of a very light gray. It's got some black and some sort of periwinkle tweed mixed in there. And then the Carbon also has this sort of light color and then some brown and that periwinkle again. This is mostly felted merino, which is where the felted name comes from. And it's what makes it supposedly machine washable. I would look closely at the label instructions, but that the yarn has already been felted a little bit gives it an interesting texture and sort of properties when you're washing it. Then the halo comes from some alpaca, and then I believe it's the tweed in there that's from viscose, which is a plant fiber. So yes, I've loved knitting with this yarn so far. I feel like it's woolly, but the alpaca gives it almost like a little bit of a slippery, soapy sort of feel, but in like a nice way that I think works well with the merino. Holding these 2 together has been fun, just to see how the colors sort of play together. I don't know about you, but I think planning my knitting projects is just as fun as doing the actual knitting and the wearing. We talk about whether people are project knitters or process knitters, whether you're more motivated by the finished project and wearing it at the end, getting it done, or if you really like the process of actually sitting and knitting and the whole ritual of it. I don't know which one I am, but I get just as much joy out of just project planning as I do actually knitting. So this was fun to have sort of an expanded range of options when I was considering 2 different colors. You can, of course, knit it all in one color, just holding 2 strands together. That's called marling, when you hold 2 strands together. Kelsey just wrote a blog post about this recently. She knit with Rama Fennel Garn and the new Rama Plum Mohair that we're carrying. Marling can be using 2 different types of yarn held together, or 2 of the same yarns to give different effects. So let me show you what that looks like. First, I'll talk to you about my swatches. So I had some felted tweed on hand to kind of practice and see if I liked the yarn for this project. I wasn't sure with that alpaca if it would get a little bit drapier than I wanted. I'm picturing sort of a stiff, you know, with that collar standing up, something that will kind of hold the wind out in the fall. So I practiced with some yarn I already had to see if I liked the yarn. Like I said, it's 10.5 size needles and holding 2 strands. And this was the fabric that it gave. I could tell right away that this was going to be too open, and I wasn't getting gauge. I was getting more like 16 stitches per 4 inches, and it calls for 14 and 20 rows in the 4 inches. So I set that aside right away, didn't bother with it anymore, and went down to a 10. This looked pretty close, but once I blocked it, it stretched out just a little bit more. Again, probably some of the alpaca doing that relaxing in there. But by then I had committed to the yarn, so I'd ordered that. When that came, I knit again on a size 9 needle. And after blocking, it blocked out just right and gave me a fabric that I liked. So you can see the tweed kind of coming through here. The lights and darks kind of get lost in the light and dark yarn, but you see especially the periwinkle coming through. There's little bits of the brown too. So I like how this gives kind of an overall heathered effect. I call it like a kind of a sock monkey look. So there's the swatch, and then I went right ahead and started with the bottom of the body, and I've got that whole piece done. So this is from the bottom hem, it's 2x2 ribbing up to the underarms. Then you can set this whole piece aside and start your sleeves. I added an extra inch to this. It's a cropped cardigan, which I don't typically wear. I am looking forward to trying it though, but 8 inches was what my size called for. That seemed just a little short to me still. So this is 9 inches from the hem to the underarm. And that's one thing about a bottom-up sweater, is that you kind of have to make some of those decisions earlier on. With a top-down sweater, you know, you can just kind of knit until you like the length or you've run out of yarn. In this case, you're making those decisions early. So what I like to do is measure from a sweater that I already have and like, and kind of estimate from there if I would like that length again. And then you also have to keep in mind that if you're altering the pattern, your yardage may be different than what the pattern calls for. I did some calculating beforehand, since I wasn't using, you know, just the set, however many skeins of the yarn it called for. I had to figure out how many yards and therefore how many skeins I was going to need. I think I'm using 4 of each is what it equals out to for my size, knitting the second size. But then you have to kind of do a little bit of guesswork if you're going to be adding length. So I knew that when I calculated my yardage, I had to round up a skein. I think I needed 3.5 skeins of each color. So I know that I am going to be working with a little bit of extra. But as we've learned, especially from Corinne lately with the Vem's Victory Cardigan, it doesn't hurt to have a couple extra on hand if you can, just in case. So once I knit the body, then the next thing I did was just put that all aside. I started new skeins since I had them, didn't have to cut any ends and weave those in, and I started on the sleeve. So there's 2x2 rib for the cuff. I think Kate Davies wears hers cuffed, so that'll give kind of some more options for sleeve length and altering that even after the sweater's done. Then you do some increases, and then just once you reach a certain point, knit until you like the length from the cuff to the underarm. I'll knit a second sleeve, then join those back up to finish the rest. I'm really loving knitting this so far. It is, like I said, on size 10.5 needles, which goes really quickly. And for this kind of fall season stage where I have a lot of other things going on, it's nice to just have some stockinette to pick up. I know there's different projects for different seasons, and this is a good one for this season for me. It's also a great potential pattern for the knit along. I would recommend even the pullover version as a first project. If you're adventurous, you know, the cardigan's great too. It'll have a few extra steps, especially at the end with the folding over the collar and finishing. But yeah, it knits up so quickly. So even though this is cast on day, if you haven't decided or jumped in with which project you're gonna knit, it's not too late. It depends on where you live, but our shipping is pretty quick. And yeah, like I said, we're happy to help pick that out for you. I'm also thinking about other yarns that you could knit this pattern in. I'm thinking about Peace Fleece. If you use just one strand of our new Peace Fleece, it's a heavy worsted. And I believe Kelsey talked last week when she mentioned what she likes about Peace Fleece. I think she said something close to that gauge, the 14 stitches, 20 rows. So you could give that a try. If you have some on hand, swatching first before you commit to the sweater's worth is something I like to do. But otherwise, the Let Lopey, I'm thinking you could maybe even push up to that gauge. I know Mary Jane Mucklestone has a couple of patterns. Her Soulbind cardigan and maybe even her stopover sweater. I know that the Soulbind uses 10.5 needles, so I'm guessing you could get similar gauge with the Lopey if you like a even fuzzier, more rustic look to the yarn. So yes, feel free to reach out with any questions you have about that as you're planning. And yeah, I also just was thinking about everyone who's getting ready for this sweater knit along and the projects that you're planning. Our Ravelry group is so fun to look through and see what people are planning. I know a lot of people are knitting the vanilla sweater, maybe even as their first sweater project. And yeah, looking forward to following along with all of you there. We just have such a supportive group. I was thinking about a couple other kits we have in the shop right now. If you are still not decided on something and maybe want to take a look there, we've got kits put together for the Felix pullover or cardigan. That's an Amy Christopher's pattern knit in Let Lopey. That would be another pretty quick one, I think. And then the Altheta could be fun. That's a Jennifer Stein Gass pattern. That's in Plodulopey, which would be a little bit different knitting experience, being an unspun Lopey yarn. Or if you're considering anything else, go ahead and yeah, scheme away and let us know if you're having any questions about substituting a yarn for a pattern that you have your heart set on, if you don't have the yarn it calls for. Yeah, we're happy to answer any of those questions. And do check out the pages on our website. If you know the sweater you want to knit calls for, say, a DK weight yarn, we have one of the tabs on our site is set up to sort through our inventory by yarn weight. So you can search just for the weight of yarn you're looking for. You can search by brand, you can search by fiber content, and like I said, we're always happy to help. Most of the product pages, you'll find a lot of information on the side as well. Sometimes pattern suggestions. Ravelry is another great place to go to see what yarns people have used for a certain pattern, and maybe even what pattern suggestions they have for a particular yarn. So, well, thank you again for having me on the Shopcast this week, and I look forward to knitting along with you and checking in again soon. Thanks so much.
And we'll say goodbye now. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And if you go out, take your knitting, and I guess we're still wearing masks, so do that too. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.